Are Yatris scared after this terror attack on Amarnath Yatris late last night, or are they continuing with the same religious fervor from Baltal, from Pahalgam, as they travel to Baba Barfani's Gufa, as Lord Amarnath is called in that area? I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Ashraf Vani, who brings us this report after speaking to pilgrims and devotees.
Just a few hours passed when there was an attack on a pilgrim bus carrying Amarnath pilgrims at Batengoo, Anantnag. But just within hours, we are seeing that hundreds of pilgrims from different corners of the country are here waiting at Dumail main security gate. You can see still the moon is in the sky, and from this point, this pilgrimage is being considered as very tough one, as there are high peaks, there are tough terrains through which these pilgrims have to pass, but they are aware about them. Most of these pilgrims are who have already performed Amarnath Yatra in previous years and are now proceeding for this pilgrimage today here. But despite this terror strike, we are seeing that these pilgrims are excited for their Amarnath Yatra. Some of them are with us. We would try to talk them. What is your name?
My name is Satyendra Gupta.
From which place you are?
मैं फेसवास भोजपुर जिला बिहार का हूँ जी।
तो आपने सुना कि आतंकी हमला हुआ है यात्रियों पे?
ऐसे तो मैं सुना है, अभी तो हम लोग के साथ में ऐसे बात नहीं है। हम लोग अमरनाथ बाबा के यात्री में अच्छे ढंग से जाने के लिए अब सरकार यहाँ पर व्यवस्था भी अच्छी ढंग से की है। वहाँ पर जाने के लिए भी हम लोग अच्छी ढंग से सोच रहे हैं कि हम लोग पहुँच जाए और बाबा को यात्री करके वहाँ से रिटर्निंग आ जाए।
आपका नाम?
शंभू कुमार।
शंभू कुमार, कोई डर तो नहीं है?
कोई डर नहीं है, बाबा का दर्शन करना है।
आप पहली बार यात्रा पे आ रहे हैं?
जी पहली बार हैं।
तो अभी तक जो फिलहाल आपको है, किसी तरह की दिक्कत तो नहीं हुई?
कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
सुभाष गिरत।
कहाँ से हैं आप?
मैं बम्बई से।
बम्बई से? पहली बार यात्रा पे जा रहे हैं?
यस यस।
कैसा रहा आपके साथ यात्रा को लेकर? सुरक्षा है, व्यवस्था है?
बहुत अच्छा, मोदी जी ने जो किया है हमको गर्व है। हम रास्ते में उन्होंने फोर्स बिठाई है, हमको कोई डर नहीं है, और उसको भोलेनाथ की तो कृपा है ही है, तो हम बेफिक्र है, ये यात्रा हमारी सफल हो जाएगी।
आपने सुना कि कोई हादसा हुआ था यात्रा में?
सुना है।
क्या सुना आपने?
सुना है, बहुत से अतिरिक्त लोगों ने दंगा फसाद ये यात्रा रुकवाने का बहुत कोशिश किया, मगर कुछ उनका चला नहीं है। तो हमें कुछ डर नहीं है, हमारी इतनी सिक्योरिटी मिली है। यहाँ वहाँ से जब से निकले जम्मू से तब तक इधर तक पूरा जंगल, रोड में सब जगह फोर्स उन्होंने बिठाई है।
So this is the sense of the security among these pilgrims, and even you can see still when we are here, you can see this special dog squad being just moved from the tracks. This is all the way these kind of security drills are in place, and these had been enhanced since yesterday evening when there was attack on the pilgrims in Batengoo, Anantnag. But despite that, we are seeing that these pilgrims, who are hundreds in number, are reaching here and are proceeding for the holy cave Amarnath for pilgrimage. With cameraman Rauf Ahmed, Ashraf Vani for India Today in Dumail.
3,089 pilgrims have gone for the yatra this morning. Barely 10 hours after the terrorist attack on Amarnath Yatris, more than 3,000 pilgrims have gone again. They're not scared of terrorists, but what will the government do, and what should the government do as far as these terrorists are concerned? And it's not just these terrorists, but also that ecosystem that gives them shelter and cover fire. Two experts on the broadcast, both have served in the Kashmir Valley. General G.D. Bakshi, what is it that the security forces need to do at this point of time? The terrorists, they threatened the yatra and they've succeeded in targeting the yatra.
You know, there are two things that we should do right away. Firstly, this group's identity should be ascertained without this thing, and we should go for this group in a very, very concerted manner. And we should set a horrible example of all these people who have carried out the attack, so that a clear, loud message goes that your life is now shelf life. You can count in number of days. It won't be months before we get to you and bring you to justice.
Okay.
So we have to go for this particular group. We have to identify the people who gave them shelter, take stringent action.
Stringent
Now, the
action
second
against
thing that
these
I'm trying
terrorists.
I have been saying for a very long time. Look, no, one second.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is a defensive defense approach confined to consequence management never works. You have to raise costs across the line of control.
Okay.
Who gave the orders for this attack? They came from across. Who
Okay.
had threatened that they will attack this yatra? It came from across. What
That's
have we
a
done
point.
to raise costs for them?
That's a
Why
very
don't you fight
important
in
point.
a proactive manner?
That's a
Why
very important point you
the Battle
raised.
of
General,
Panipat
stay
must
with
be
me.
fought inside India.
Stay
Again
with
and
me.
again and again.
India's approach is extremely defensive, Mr. Kakkar, and somewhere down the line, all we do, all our security forces do, and it's at great risk to their own lives, is kill the pawns in this game. Terrorists are either killed at the line of control or once terrorists are already inside our country, our area. Is it time and is it possible to raise costs for terror perpetrators? This has been war-gamed. You've been Special Secretary Internal Security. Why is it that India does not inflict cost on perpetrators on their soil instead of our soil?
Let me tell you, Gaurav, that I fully agree with General Bakshi. The cost on the other side has to be raised. That to an extent, I would say to a great extent, the present government has been doing and maybe after this attack they may do something else. But the point is how to prevent such attacks, because we know either there are lone wolves or there are modules are there all across, particularly in the southern this one. This present government, when I'm sorry to say that for the past 2 years has been fairly soft on this. And
yes.
The problem is only in the valley. We keep saying J&K. The problem is only in the valley. Once you cross Banial,
yes,
there is no problem.
Okay. That's
no
a very important point that
now,
you make there, Mr.
Valley has
Kakkar.
to be handled, and valley can be handled only.
But it's 1 year
Valley
now.
has to be handled only if the politicians and everybody else accept it.
Okay.
Now let me tell you, Gaurav, I'll take one more half a minute.
Yes.
Let me tell you that the previous government, when I'm talking of the Mr. Farooq Abdullah's government, was fairly strict on these issues.
Yes.
Notwithstanding what his son is saying these days, maybe for political reasons since he's out of power.
Yes.
But the Chief Minister had a very clear instruction to his DGP, to his police, that spare none. Don't
That's a
spare
very
anybody.
important point
And
you
that
make there,
this is
Mr.
how the whole
Kakkar.
thing
When
used to be
Omar
conducted.
Abdullah was Chief Minister, very good point you've made. Yes, stay with me for a minute.
I'm giving some secrets out, but the point is,
Yes.
this is how you can't keep protecting, can't make statements which favor the terrorists or favor the separatists.
That's a
Let there
very
be
important point.
firmness. And
Yes.
my other request
Sir,
is
stay
to
with me
keep
for a moment. You've made a very important point. When Omar Abdullah was Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, there were very clear instructions, spare no terrorist. Perhaps that is why even when a terrorist was hanged, Afzal Guru, guilty of attack on parliament, even when he was hanged, Kashmir did not burn. But after Burhan Wani was killed, 1 year after that, despite security forces being deployed there, is it that they're fighting this war on Pakistan-sponsored terror with one hand tied behind their back? And is it time to change that strategy? As Mr. Kakkar and Mr. General G.D. Bakshi have been pointing out, all of this is restricted just to a couple of districts in South Kashmir. If Government of India and the state government with its combined might cannot handle the situation in 5 districts, then something is drastically wrong in that approach. We'll talk about that in greater detail. Let's take a look at these reports being sent by India Today's Shujaul Haq and Kamlesh Sutar.
We're right now in Batengoo area, and this is the spot where that attack took place yesterday. As you can see, there are clear signs of how it must have been. This one vehicle also, was plying at that time, and you can very clearly see how there, are signs of commotion which happened, at that point of time. This entire vehicle has been badly damaged. Locals say there was a lot of firing, cross-firing, or in the cross-firing, these vehicles were damaged. Now, this is the area where the militants struck. They came here, they targeted the police van. After targeting the police van, they managed to flee from this spot. It was during the attack on the police van, they also fired on that bus which was coming from that side of in Srinagar and was headed towards Jammu. This is the spot where that exact attack took place, and from here is what is believed to be the route which the militants took after carrying out this attack to escape from here. Now, a lot of police, paramilitary forces, the army has been deployed around this entire area throughout the night. They were trying to, find out where these militants could have escaped. Top officials of the army, police, paramilitary forces still camping in Anantnag, trying to take stock of the situation and making sure that this entire road, which is the national highway that connects Kashmir with the rest of the country, is safe and is available for vehicular movement. With cameraman Tariq Shujaul Haq in Batengoo for India Today.
We are at the travel agency in Valsad, from where these tourists who had met the terror attack during the Amarnath Yatra had started off from. At the station road in Valsad, this is the place, this is the travel agency called Om Travels, which is owned by a person called Mr. Jawahar Desai. Now, around what we learn, 61 people had registered with the Om Travels for the Amarnath Yatra with Jawahar Desai. Which we have also learned that his son was also part of the Yatris who had visited Amarnath along with other fellow travellers. The travel agency, the bus that met the terror attack, was initially registered in the name of some Sai Om Travels in Banaskantha, but now it is registered in the name of Om Travels in Valsad. So 61 people had travelled along with that, but the big question that is being raised is that the bus wasn't registered with the Amarnath Shrine Board, and how did it make through the entire yatra? So were there some lacunas in part of that, and whether several yatras in the past were also conducted by the Om Travels is now what will be a part of the crucial investigations. But for now, the entire city of Valsad, having lost several of its pilgrims in that ill-fated terror attack, is in a state of shock. People here, there have been several people who go to Amarnath Yatra from here, and that is why the terror attack has left them shell-shocked. With camera person Raju Revankar, Kamlesh Sutar in Valsad for India Today.
What does Information and Broadcasting Minister Venkaiah Naidu have to say about this terror attack, and also the State Human Rights Commission in Jammu and Kashmir awarding 10 lakh rupees to an alleged stone pelter? That story and lots more coming up on the other side of a quick break. Stay with us.